Welcome to Talk Tuesdays, a series dedicated to empowering youth and families. This series is brought to you by Step Foundation Inc., where advocacy means education for the betterment of young minds. Each month, we explore meaningful topics designed to inspire growth, spark creativity, and equip our listeners with the tools they need to thrive. I'm Eleni Alvarez, your host and peer educator. This month, we're diving into a theme that holds incredible power over how we approach life, challenges, and our personal growth: the power of positivity, and we're going to explore a growth mindset can change our year and your life. A growth mindset is more than just an idea. It's a way of thinking, a way of approaching obstacles, and a way of seeing a failure as a part of the learning process. Whether it's about your studies, your goals, or your personal growth, adopting growth mindset can help you unlock your true potential and find success even in the most difficult situations. We'll be discussing how the right mindset shapes everything from how we talk to ourselves to how we bounce back from setbacks. Over the next 4 weeks, we will learn how to turn challenges into opportunities, embrace failure as growth, and keep building confidence with each new goal. Are you ready to shift the way you approach challenges? Let's dig in and find out how you make a positivity and growth mindset to work for you. Over to you, Amaya.
Okay, my mic was not working. Hi, everyone. My first question is, how can failure be viewed as a stepping stone to success?
That's a good one.
Oh, now y'all want me to start it off.
So,
I'm gonna say I'm trying to let somebody else go. Let's go, Smith.
so, you know, I think again, got to be mindful of the words we're using, especially when we're talking about failure. I think it goes to the word itself, and then you being introduced to the word failure, and then what does failure mean? You know, without even looking at the Webster's dictionary or Wikipedia, I'm sure fail is like you didn't complete the task or something didn't happen to its full extent or 100% of what it was supposed to be. Well, you know, I believe it was Thomas Edison who said 10,000 failures could lead to one success story, right? So, you know, if you how do you translate failure into success is by failing. Like you have to first understand it. I know old folks like to say, I said old folks, old folks like to say, you don't know heartbreak until you've been in love, right? Well, you don't know failure until you fail, right? So I think is once you get out there and you try, you fail, but then again, it goes back to your support system, right? Let's just say, you didn't ace that test and you wanted to ace it, right? What is your support system? How are they helping you, right? How are they picking you up and saying it's okay, and it's okay to fail, right? I mean, you can't just say, it's okay. You'll be fine. No, man, I'm not fine. I just failed. It's okay to be that way. It's cool, right? But then understand, like, how do we get better? So, for example, and I'm gonna shut up. With my football team, how do we fix those mishaps, those mistakes? We can't keep doing the same thing. Let's get better. So you failed once, and that's fine, right? Now that's a coaching opportunity for me to train you better, right? And then we do it the next time, and maybe it gets a little bit better. Okay, then we keep going. Now I showed you, and you proved to yourself, because that's the thing with failure, you prove to yourself you could try. That's the bottom line. You prove to yourself you can try. Now prove to yourself that you can do it again, and then get some progress with getting better. So that's my take on how you transform failure into success.
I think to go off of what Mr. Smitty just said too, I'm coming into this with a healthcare mindset. So I'm a phlebotomy teacher. I always tell my students, you're going to have really good days drawing blood and you're going to have really bad days drawing blood. And every day, as long as your only competition is yourself and you improving on your technique and you improving on how you're approaching the patients, even though in in that moment, they might see it as failure. That's a success. So you really have to see kind of, I mean, that's how I will look at it. Failure is only failure if you allow it to be. If you can take something that maybe didn't go 100% or it didn't go as you planned, and one thing, being a teacher, we'll make a million plans and it's never going to go the way that we thought it was going to. I'm sure it's the same way with you in coaching, right? We take our time, we do lesson plans, we do everything we need to. At the end of the day, it's going to go completely different. And it's all about how do you take that learning experience. I always will tell my students, as long as you learn something, that's success in itself.
See, I feel like I don't even have to add nothing to that because y'all done hit both nails. I just gotta say, I'm proud of one of the students in the chat saying no one is perfect. We just need to try and stay positive until we achieve our goal. And that is so true. Look, I love that. Again, failure is what we make it. But in order for us to know how to succeed, we have to fail. No day is ever going to be a perfect day. No timing is ever going to be perfect timing. So I love, look, y'all hit both of those. I don't feel like I need to say nothing else to that. Look, boom, I'm just gonna mute myself.
Right. Failure is another step to success. It's another way to getting to success. And without failure, you're never gonna learn. And if you just keep failing and you keep failing, you keep failing, you'll reach that. Like I was saying to Abby the other day, that Michael Jordan did not make it on his high school basketball team. His coach told him, "You'll never be nothing. You're not gonna get there." But you see, now he's one of the biggest stars out there. He has his own company. He has Jordan Brand. He is one of the biggest basketball players ever. So don't ever let somebody's doubtful words towards you doubt yourself, because you know who you are yourself, and you know that you can grow, you know you can be better, you know you can always strive for the greatness, for the top. So never let somebody doubt you. Never let somebody tell you you are not. You are not, or you can't, because you can't. When you put that into your mindset, it allows your mind to just shut off and feel lazy and feel like you can't get to where you want to be. So also, like, people talk about, oh, I want to be a surgeon, but that's going to take 11 years to get there. You know what? I said, do you remember your first day of kindergarten? And if you do remember that, that means that years went by so quickly and now you're at the end. You're reaching the end steps. So taking another 11 years to get that degree, all you can get there. You can get there. You can get there. That's all I gotta say. Just see it as growth. See it as that you're gonna achieve it. You're gonna see it. If someone says I can't, you say yourself, I can.
I'm sorry, I gotta say it because my babies put in the chat the money plate is coming out early. So look, we already putting the money plate out there. Come on, Aaron, I see you.
Yeah, those were really good. One thing that came to my mind was the quote, rejection is redirection. So I think some people can view rejection as failure as well. So, sometimes we just don't achieve something because there's a different way to go about it, or there's a different path we're supposed to be walking. So that's another gem. Okay, my next question, I'm excited about this one. Can you share a time when a setback turned into an opportunity for growth?
Okay, I got y'all for this one. Yeah, here we go. Smith not gonna get me this time. Look, look, try to come behind Smith, you be like, ooh. Okay, so in all honesty, right? Anybody starting a business, you're gonna have 1,000 setbacks. Why? Because business requires you to do a million things. You, as an entrepreneur, you wear 1,000 hats. How many successful businesses are out there, right? And again, we're gonna say success is defined by how somebody perceives their success, right? Now, some people say, "Oh, I want my business to get $1 million in revenue or $100,000 in revenue," and that defines their success. But how often do you think the very first business they started reached those goals? They typically don't. By the time they get to business 3, 4, or 5, they've kind of figured out along the way how to make it as successful as they want it to be. So I say that to say this. I didn't just start out saying, I'm going to have a nonprofit, y'all. It was not that. There were many ideas placed in a binder, thrown in the back of a closet. And it took me to start somewhere. There were other things along the way that I was like, okay, I'm going to do this thing. But you know what? Sometimes what we start isn't our calling. And then we figure out what our purpose and our passion really is. This was my purpose and my passion. Do I make $100 million? No. But I feel like I make $100 million because I get to pour back into youth. And I get to see you guys become as successful as you desire to be. So that for me is worth it in the end. So when I think about those setbacks, right, as starting a business, being an entrepreneur, every day is not an easy day, but it's what I take from it, right? So when we allow fear to creep in, because fear is that ultimate evil that comes in when we think about that growth mindset. Fear stops us from doing the things that we desire to do. So I love when we talk about what are the opportunities that we took to get to the places where we are. It took me to do a thing and do it scared. It took me to rally around the people who supported me to say, yes, you can do it, even if you're scared to do it. It took me to change the people that I hung around and find better people who also believed in the work that I was going to do. So sometimes it takes change. So how do you grow when you find yourself walking backwards? Look at where you want to be, and then you create the little pockets in between to help you get there.
Maya, could you ask the whole question again?
Yes, so it's can you share a time when a setback turned into an opportunity for growth?
Okay. So, where I am today is nowhere near where I thought I would be. When I don't know if you guys have ever felt this way, but I remember being 18, finishing high school, and the question, what do you want to do with your life, was present. I didn't know. So I really admired the people who knew 100% what they wanted to do. But for me, I liked so many different things, and that was scary. That was scary because I didn't have a set path. But one thing I always knew was I was going to be in the medical field. I loved people. I loved blood. I loved all the movies and the shows, and I could stomach it. So I went to nursing because back then you either were a doctor or you were a nurse. That was all that we knew. We didn't really know sonography or I don't know, there's so many, like, I don't know, there was just so much, right? So, anyways, I went to nursing and I thought I was gonna love it and I hated it. I hated it. Every moment I would cry. Anytime I would have to take a test, I would cry. It was not for me. And I ended up feeling really disappointed because what I thought was going to be what I was going to do turned out to not be enjoyable for me. And then I ended up dropping out of nursing school. And there's a lot more to the story, but I ended up dropping out of nursing school and then I felt like I had wasted time. And that's the word that I kept feeling was, man, I wasted time, I wasted energy, I wasted all this stuff. When I went into phlebotomy at that time, I knew that I loved people. I did love people, and I knew that there was no question that I wanted to help people. And I could stomach blood, I just couldn't stomach surgeries. So when I went into phlebotomy, in the beginning, I had no idea that would start me on a whole trajectory to now owning my own phlebotomy school. I really thought that was a complete mistake. I thought it was my setback was, oh man, I'm wasted a year and a half of nursing. What am I going to do? So that's been the biggest setback to my life to date. But at that time, when I was 19, I did not ever think I was going to take that and grow from it, learn from it, and take every single thing that I learned in nursing school. And at the time, I thought I had wasted time. to now I'm using all of that in phlebotomy school, teaching students how to draw blood. So that's been the biggest, I would say, setback. But at the time, what I thought was a setback was really just launching me. It was pushing me forward. So now I've realized that nothing is wasted. Even when you think, okay, how am I going to use this? Or surely this can't be used. Nothing is wasted. Everything that we go through, whether we know it or not at the time, maybe a year down the road, 2 years down the road, hindsight is going to come back and you're going to say, wow, I really did use this too. And that really like touched my heart though, because I am Puerto Rican. I am coming from a strict family where they want you to know what you're doing, okay? And I don't know if anybody in here is coming from like a Caribbean background or a Hispanic background, but going to college is such a big thing that is pushed so that we don't fit into our stereotypes, you know? So when I found myself not loving nursing, I felt like I had failed my whole culture. Okay, I felt like everybody was looking down, but thank God that he takes everything and he can use any, even the things that you think are unusable, he can use it. And now all my experiences, I'm teaching it to my students. So yeah, that's been my biggest setback, but when I look at it now, it's not even a setback. It was really launching me to what I'm doing now.
So I'm gonna take it and go into my hemisphere of deep in the weeds kind of stuff, being very non specific. First and foremost, to answer the question about how do you overcome the failure, I think having the blueprint in place is a helpful piece of documentation to kind of guide you to where you want to go. With that said, for myself, overcoming failure, I think I self-sabotage myself a lot, starting with getting, kicked out of daycare on the first day, then subsequently getting suspended throughout K through 6, ninth grade, 10th grade, blah, 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 dropping out of college multiple times, um, you know, kind of just stabbing myself in the foot, again, not having a blueprint. Then as I got older, starting multiple businesses that failed on me. Again, self-sabotage. I didn't even understand how to run a business. I didn't know how to get my LLC, my business license, my insurance, all of these different things. I didn't know how to network properly to keep my capital up. So I say all that to say this, in the grand scheme of things, when you think about failure, don't think of it as such. Decompartmentalize, understand where you are. What you think you want may not be what you want. And maybe that's why it's not working out. Maybe it's not failure that's the challenge. Maybe it's just not what you need to be doing, right? So with your blueprint, and as long as you're following the blueprint, I will say this, be ready to pivot, right? And again, your pivot may come at 20, your pivot may come at 30. You might be like me and your pivot comes at 50, right? But be ready to pivot and don't look at it like a failure. Because so this is what I used to tell my kids all the time. Like today is just a pop quiz for tomorrow. Because tomorrow's going to come with its new challenges. It's just preparing you today to how to think rationally and prepare yourself. So decompartmentalize, keep things in its right place. You know what I'm saying? And I say overcome failure. If you don't look at it like overcome a failure, it's just more like a pivot. You take all of that anxiety away about that's attached to failure.
Those are really good. Thank you guys. Aaron, were you going to share or?
I'm like, they said it straight and everything, but like, if I was gonna go in the perspective of a teenager, I feel like a failure of most teenagers is like if they don't get on a sports team, or if they haven't passed a test or anything like that, or they just see it as like, dang, did I just waste my time? Or putting that into their mindset, like, oh, what if it's just not for me? What if I just can't do it? And I'm like, if you just tell yourself that you could do it and you can do it, you'll be able to. You just have to work for it. You have to work for everything that you are trying to go for. That's the only way that you can get it. That's the only way you can get there. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, my next question is, How does reflection help after experiencing failure?
You know, again, with the self-sabotaging myself on failing, uh, you gotta, man, that is a great question. You know, looking yourself in the mirror, and before I got to here trying to decompartmentalize what failure, again, the self-sabotage, it's the woe is me, it's the pity party, why did this happen to me? Right. Um, and I heard something the other day from Deion Sanders, and what do you think about him is neither here nor there. But he said something that I thought was pretty powerful to this point. When the failure comes, or a challenge comes, or a setback comes, or if a pivot comes, you I don't think it's appropriate to say, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why didn't it work out? Because if that's the case, then you should say, why did I wake up this morning? Why was I the one that wake up this morning? Why was I the one? Why am I the one that's willing to walk? Why can I be allowed to walk? Why do I have a roof over my head? Why do I have food? Why do I have these things? Why did I get that car? Why did I get to go to school? Why? It is so easy to get caught up in the one setback and overlook all the great things that you have. So that's a great question, but I would say don't let one thing define you. Like, and again, if we just understand the words we're talking about, just get word failure out of there and just think of something else to use in that. That just creates another opportunity, right? I tell my players all the time, hey, the next opportunity is a great opportunity to be great. You know what I'm saying? So let's put that mistake behind us. So again, I to me, and I know but I think sometimes you gotta outthink the words that's populated in our society that kind of hold you back and put this stigma on you.
So to continue on what he's saying, I agree with everything Mr. Smitty said. I am a person that up until recently, I hated to fail. Like I just didn't even like I don't want to say I was a perfectionist, but I tried like everything I did, I went for excellence, like there was no other option for me. And then getting into business and I knew how to teach it. I knew how to teach phlebotomy, but I had never owned my own school. There came a lot of failure in the 2 years of leading up to opening and having the first class. So I think reflection is something that I do daily now. When before I was like, no, because it wasn't even in my mindset. I'm not even going to give myself time because I'm not going to. I'm only striving for excellence. And even though that still really is my mindset, I teach with excellence. I will love every student with excellence. So it's kind of like what I strive for. I think reflection has to be a daily part in our lives because if I can reflect on, even if it went good or it went bad, reflection is needed because it allows me to improve. So without reflection, I don't think we're going to be able to sit there and say, okay, this went great. How could it have been better? Or how could I have given my patient a better experience? How could I have taught this topic better? So that's something that I think reflection definitely helps after you experience failure. But I would say, even if you don't experience failure, you had a beautiful day, was perfect. I think we still need to take time to reflect just so that maybe there is no correction that needs to be done, but take time to make sure that you are praising yourself for what went right. Because I think it's easy for us to kind of like tear ourselves down. It's not as easy for us to say, hey, we did really good at this. I think that sometimes takes a little bit of uh, I don't even know the word I'm trying to use, but kind of like more effort. So reflect if it went bad and reflect if it went good because there's going to be days that we need to grow regardless of the outcome. So I think like to add on to what Mr. Smitty said, I reflect every day now, okay? Which is something that I would really never give myself time for. Sometimes we get into the day to day, we get so busy that sometimes you do need to stop, take a second, breathe and say, okay, let me kind of like decompress this. What could have gone better? What went beautiful and what did not go so well and reflect on all of it.
Can I say y'all are literally on fire? Like They done said put the money in the collection plate mad early. Like we wouldn't even halfway through the show. And y'all done got money in the collection plate. But I gotta read this real quick because I think this is awesome. So one of our team members put in the chat, shout out Anastasia, okay? Self-sabotage is the enemy trying to hold you back because they know you're doing great with whatever project or season you're in. So don't feed into rotten fruit. Reflection is key. And I love what you guys are saying about that reflective piece, because for me, reflection is a must. And I love when you brought up, even if you feel like you're winning, you still need to reflect, because on the bad days, you got to remember how you got through the good days. Sometimes you need that bit of motivation. You need that little bit of empowerment, and it's going to come from remembering the things that you did well, so that you don't stay sinking in that ship of sorrow, right? Because it's easy to drown in the I messed up, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, or sometimes you got to really sit and think, was it even in your control? Because a lot of times we fail at things that were outside of our control, but it's because we set that expectation. Nobody gave us the expectation. We set it. So now when we fail, we have that utter disappointment and that feeling of, now I can't do a thing because I wasn't successful at it. But nobody told you that you couldn't. So I love reflecting, because reflection is how we get to know how we continue to grow. And even when we're good at a thing, we still should be looking at reflection to see how we can get better at it. We'll never be perfect, but we set the bar for what we feel we should be. We set the bar for who we believe we are. And so reflection helps us to figure those things out. And I think reflection is always good on the bad days, because when we remember what we did good, it makes us feel better, and we're able to move forward. I love that. Look, y'all better come through with these nuggets tonight.
Right. And one thing I would say, like, about self-sabotage, when you when you sabotage yourself, you never get to experience what could be, or what if. You're saying all these what ifs, what it could be, what it, instead of that, you reflect to yourself and you tell yourself, wait, let's do it. Let's see it. Let's see how it goes. And then you get to experience what you said, what it could have been or what it could be. It never hurts to try something. It never hurts to go for it.
Yeah, those are really good. I think the only thing I'll add is I feel like reflection can be like a doorway to like meet yourself with honesty, because I know for me, and like sometimes failing things or experiencing setbacks, like sometimes you do have a role to play in it somewhat. And I think sometimes you have to get really honest, like, what am I doing wrong here? Or like, am I self-sabotaging? Have I been lying to myself? Like, I can pull this off. And it's like, girl, no, maybe you need to like have a better plan. Like, I don't think so, you know? So yeah, I think it can just invite honesty in.
But
Oh,
you also just got to bring in that positivity into your mind, your mindset, and what you speak. What you speak, it really can influence what your mind thinks about yourself. So if you just tell yourself all these bad things, you're just going to stay in the bad. You'll never be able to experience the good part of you. People won't be able to see that good part of you as
mhm.
well. So you lose a lot. You lose a lot when you're not speaking good about yourself, or you're not showing yourself and expressing your true feelings and how you are as a person.
For sure. I think it's a balance. I think meet yourself with love and speak positivity to yourself, and also be honest about like maybe where, there's some course correcting that can happen as well. So all of that in one.
Can I just add, please? And I know we up against it, but listening to you wonderful people speak, man, it is heartwarming, and it also excites my brain, gets it going, charges it up with the molecules and the particles that's there. Reflection, you know, reflection is of you. So there's no comparison. You just going off of what you do. This is your plan. So when we reflect, we're looking at ourselves, right? And I say all of that to say, not too many professions. Listen to what I'm about to say. Not too many professions, whether it's doctors, lawyers, accountants, teachers, truck driver, not too many people practice in the mirror like a ballerina does. A ballerina sits there and judges or improves or removes the imperfections of the routine on point, on time, in real life. What we're doing is reflecting on the past, our past activity, not in real time. So we got to keep that in mind, unless you're opening your own clothing business and you're doing it with a mirror in front of you, you're always going to have to go back. You know what I'm saying? So that might be a little too deep. That's where my mind is right now, looking at energy of your constant current position and changing it on the fly. That's the dopest thing I've ever seen. I love ballerinas. I should have been a ballerina, but we ain't gonna get into that story. Self-sabotage. I took myself out of the nutcracker in the second grade because I didn't want to wear the ballerina tights. I could have been a ballerina. I'm just saying. Self-sabotage.
I gotta say, I love that. And let me just say, I literally had to chuckle because you got to come on, Unc, in the chat. Like, let's go, Unc.
What would I say with like Smitty? Smitty was talking about like comparing and how people compare themselves to others instead of trying to be their true authentic self. And I feel like that ends up with being a teenager, that everyone tries to fit into this certain group and become this certain person that they aren't. So then they forget and they lose themselves. You should always stay true to yourself no matter what. If people do not like you, you tell yourself, well, hey, you tell them, hey, if you don't like me, you don't like me. But I know I am myself, and I know that other people will like me and like add me to their group because of who I am. You know, they won't judge me. They won't judge me because they know who I am. So hey.
I love that. We have time for more. Okay, cool. Next one. This is in honor of Smitty because I feel like Smitty does not like the word failure. So we need to use a different word. What role does patience play in overcoming setbacks? Not failures, setbacks.
Patience plays a big role. Look, come on. Okay, I'm gonna let you go, Spit. You go for it.
No. I've been hogging the A roll all show. Go ahead.
I love the word patience because as humans, we like instant gratification. We like and want things right now. We don't want to wait. And then when we find that we have to wait, we get upset because we had to wait. We didn't get it now. Patience is hard. It is certainly not easy, and especially when it's something you really, really desire or something you really, really want. You want it bad enough that you're doing all the right things to get it, but it's not happening fast enough for you. I feel like a lot of people, when they lack that patience, they find that they're looking at their blessing as a setback. I'm gonna say it again. Because sometimes we are impatient, because I hope that it says something for you guys. When we're impatient, we start to look at our blessing as a setback because it's not happening in our time. Sometimes we gotta wait. This season may not be the season for what you really wanted. So we just have to wait and be patient. And a lot of times you don't see it right away. You see it after the fact, right? You may see it before the blessing actually comes that you desire to have. And you may see it after you've received that blessing. But eventually you'll see why you had to wait. Sometimes it's the friends you got. Sometimes your finances aren't where they're supposed to be in order for you to get that thing because you're not going to treat it right when you get it. Sometimes he needs you to reroute what it is you thought you wanted and add a little something else to it before you actually get it. You're not going to figure it out right away most of the times. Again, it takes time, which is where that patience comes in. So I think patience plays a huge role in overcoming setbacks because sometimes we're looking at a setback that really isn't a setback. It's a blessing for us. So I think that's where reflection comes back in. When we want it that bad, sometimes we got to sit and reflect. Oh, I love that. Obedience and understanding, even when it's not what you want to hear or what you want. Let's go. Yes. So I'm going to be quiet now. So look, I'll let y'all come on.
I'll say that anytime that, well, first, I'm not good at being patient. Let me just start. I should have started with that. Okay, I'm still learning, guys. I'm still learning on it's not my timing and trusting God, trusting in even sometimes you don't get things because you're not ready for it. But in the moment when I get a no, I instantly don't say, "Oh, thank you, Lord," because this is gonna turn around for my I don't say that, even though that's what I should say. But I will say that I have had to learn that sometimes the answer is not now. And I have had to sit there and be thankful for the not now because when it does come in the future, now I know how to handle it. Now I know how to deal with it, even. So if I would have opened my school 5 years ago, it would not be successful because I didn't know how to teach. So I had to go through learning how to teach to then opening a business and having a school. So everything I'll say, and I mean, I say this with you guys. I'm not sitting here saying I have it all together, guys. I'm learning every single day the same way that you guys are learning every single day. But I will say that I have learned and watch tomorrow something happen. I'll be like, man, I shouldn't have said that on podcast. But when you say things and you're like, oh, it's good, and then tomorrow something happens, like, hold on, what did I say yesterday? But anyways, I've really had to learn that sometimes the answer is not right now, and that's protection for me. Because maybe I'm not ready for that. Maybe I haven't done all of the studying. There's a lot of educating yourself when it comes to owning any type of business, and regardless what you want to do, your schooling will never go away. You're starting a business, you got to learn how to run that business. You got to learn how to treat people because the way that I see it, we all need to make money, right? Unless, you win the lottery and it's got to be more than 1 million now to survive. But we all work to make because we need money. But you want to enjoy what you do and you want to be able to prepare yourself for that. You want to be successful in business in whatever career you guys choose. But that comes with learning the not right nows are not no's. And it's okay, let me make sure that I'm ready. Let me educate, let me learn because it is going to come one day. And when it comes, I want to be able to execute it correctly. So I don't know if I answered the question. I hope I answered the question. But yeah, I'm just learning. I'm still learning patience. I wish I could sit here and say, hey, yeah, I'm perfect. I got it together. I don't. Okay. I'm learning every day. But one thing I have learned is that if the answer is no, or if the answer is not right now, I'm going to grow and educate myself so that when it does come, I'm ready for it. I hope I answered the question.
No, Teach, you answered the question. I too am still practicing patience. Patience is a virtue, so they say. The great philosopher Lucius Seneca said, silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of life. Silence is a lesson learned from many sufferings of life. So we need to be patient and sit in it. I tell young people all the time when I go to talk to them about understanding the reaction and the response, right? We need patience so we can breathe. When you're breathing, you calm your mind, you calm your body, you calm your soul. Now you open up your airways. Now your blood can flow properly. Now you can think and make a pragmatic decision instead of reacting, right, unconsciously and making the situation worse. So I just noted a couple things down. When we're talking about patience, what does it allow for? It allows for you to block out the unnecessary chatter in your head because those are the words that are going to destroy you. So being patient allows them to come in and go out, right? Then you got to listen to sound reason. And the only way you can listen to sound reason is if you're calm and give it time. Let it marinate in your brain. Sound reason, not this reactionary reason, but sound reason. Um, and don't be miserable in advance. Like you're already, again, about to self-sabotage. You got to give yourself some patience to let it sink in. You can't see, oh, that didn't work. Oh crap, this ain't never gonna work. Self-sabotage. Give yourself some time, have patience. And then the last thing I think when we're talking about patience, it allows you to convert the obstacle into the role. You gotta get some scabs. You gotta fall down and learn how to ride a bike. You gotta fall down, bump your elbow, right? There's the things we have to do in order to move forward, to progress. So get those scabs. Give yourself some time, some patience for the scabs to heal, and then you start to ride a bike. So take that analogy with you, what you're trying to do whenever you come across these things. Have some patience, fall down, get the scab, trust and believe it will heal, and then you'll progress.
One
Ooh,
thing
y'all,
I want to
yes, go.
add off of Mr. Smitty. So anytime you have a scab, somebody's gonna ask you, well, how'd you get that? And you have a cool story to tell after. It's the same thing, okay? You can't have a cool story without having a scab. So you can't have this great success without having a storyline to go behind it. So I just thought of that when you said that. I'm like, man, that's so good. You know, what is it, the poetry snaps? Okay, poetry snaps all over. But no, that was so good.
I love it. Look, when I say y'all are on fire, y'all are on fire. Listen, y'all making it harder to close Talk Tuesday in this hour. So look, Aaron, what you want to add before I start our closeout?
So I was gonna add what you told me last night because we were talking about on how people see where they're at as like that that people, right, they'll go ahead and they'll be at this little restaurant or they'll be at this little retail store and they're like, dang man, I wish I had money, well I wish I had this, or oh I want to grow my business, I want to do this, I want to do that. Why don't you just go, I'm going to quote you right here, why don't people just set little goals that reaches to that main big goal to set? You set those little goals and over time you will achieve what you're going for. But just have that patience and it will all come to you.
Ooh, yes, yes, and yes. I love seeing how you applying yesterday to today because it does all tie in together. And again, that's what it's all about with what we do. So I'm so proud of you guys. Who y'all? Before I start our closeout, Swilly, I want you to talk to them about Premier Phlebotomy Academy. Tell them where they can find you so that we can get people following your page. And then what do you need? Like what do you need? Get them students.
Okay, thank you. So Premier Phlebotomy is a 8-week phlebotomy school where we teach you how to draw blood. But to us, this really is empowering through education. I do believe that in order to get anywhere, education is part of it. And it's more than just a school. This is really a ministry for me. So our thing is this is empowerment through education and ministry through medicine. So I'm gonna teach you how to draw blood, but I'm gonna love you while you're in my classroom. I'm gonna empower you. And we are in Groveland, Florida. So I know like there's people probably all over Florida on here tonight or watching. But we have in person and we also have online classes. So we're flexible for the student who maybe wants to go back to school, but you work full time or you don't have the luxury to stop working and come to school. Um, what I need is help me pray. I always take prayers. So, help me pray for the students who walk through the door, because I really am, obviously, like I said before, right? This is a business and we want it to be successful. But while you're in my classroom, I really want you to kind of change your mindset to say, I can do this, or this is just the beginning. It doesn't even have to stop here. Like I said, my whole testimony is I thought I knew what I wanted to do, and then I hated nursing, and then I was left feeling wasted. I was left feeling, where do I even go from here? So what I thought was my plan B ended up being where God needed me all along, because that plan B, phlebotomy, ended up being something that I fell in love with, and I've been really able to help people in this field, and not only the people who were drawing blood, but the people who come to me every day, because this is really ministry for me. And so a way for me to love on you guys and to help our community too, because I believe if we empower one person, that person goes out into the community and then they empower another person. So we are a nonprofit organization because our mission really is we want to be able to give back. And um, my goal to continue on to kind of like where we're at, I really want to be able to get in the foster system, because when they turn 18, these students, they get kicked out, and they have, from my understanding of it, they have a week to either get a job or be employed, or be enrolled in a school, I should say. So that's really where my heart is at. I just want to help people. I'll teach anybody how to draw blood because it's my passion and I love it. But I want to be intentional with the students who come through my door, because I want to be able to help with the talent that I have. And I'll end with this. Don't ever think that your talent is not good enough, right? I'm really good at drawing blood. Never once did I think that talent was going to lead me to what I'm doing now. So, whatever God has placed in your hands, allow yourself to cultivate it, because all you need is for that one right person to come through your door, and then you'll take that skill and it'll blow up in the best way possible. So yeah, you can find us. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and our website. I'll put it in on the chat too if you guys, anybody wants to find us, but you can follow us anywhere that you want to. And I always welcome you guys to come in and just sit on a class. Even if you don't like phlebotomy, you're more than welcome to come to the school and just meet me in person and get to know our staff and our students. Thank you guys. It's been so, Miss Abby, it's been so good to be here with you guys, and Amaya and Smitty and Aaron. It's been so nice to sit here and just talk to you guys. And it feels just so genuine, like we really had a whole heart to heart for a whole hour. It didn't feel forced, like it was just beautiful. So I thank you guys for
Exactly.
just welcoming me today.
We're excited to have you. And again, look, it sounds like we need a field trip, y'all. Is that what I hear, kids? We need a field trip to go to phlebotomy school. How many of y'all don't want to see blood? I see some yeses.
I say she got to open one up here in California.
They say, come on over. Submit, before I close us out, is there anything new happening with you? Anything that you want to share? What's going on over there in Cali?
And look, you know what? A slow drip cracks a large boulder. I got a meeting out of the clear blue last week. Well, the meeting is next Thursday to meet with our local juvenile hall probation department to bring my program in, my mentor and leadership program into them young scholars. I am looking forward to that. I am juiced about it. And I kind of like that's where my focus is right now. I'm not even going front. That's where it is right now. I know I said last week we got the black market coming up. We got some other things coming up, the workshops. But right now, I can't. I gotta go see these cats because we got to make this happen. So yeah, that's what I got going on.
It is yours. It is yours.
Oh,
It is
last
already
one.
done.
Last one. I'm sorry. I totally because I'm so excited about this. Starting next Monday, I'm gonna have an online mentoring session, 30 to 45 minutes, available to anybody that want to join in to keep people out. Unsavory characters. Folks are gonna have to contact me for the password to log in, but it's going to be open to anybody who may be in need of some kind of mentor and a life coach. It's free, man. Tap in. I got you.
I love it. I love it. Smith, did you make a flyer for it?
Come on, sis. I'm working on it. I'm trying to do it. This came to me over the weekend. I said, let me do this on Mondays because my time is so tight. I coach football 3 nights a week. I got to say, where's my time at? So I just figured it out yesterday. I'm going to do Mondays, 4 o'clock Pacific time for about 30 to 45 minutes. Once I get the flyer, I'm definitely going to send it to you.
Please and thank you. And then we'll share it
got
out with our students and families. I appreciate you, Smith. So you guys, look, again, this has been phenomenal. So for those of you who have joined us, as we wrap up this introduction to the power of positivity, I want you to remember that change doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen with intention. The beautiful thing about developing a growth mindset is that you can start right now, right where you are, with whatever challenge you're facing today. So whether you're listening as a young person, navigating school, relationships, or figuring out your future, or even as a parent or educator or a mentor supporting our youth in their life, these few weeks that we've been talking about a growth mindset have already been transformative, and we have a week left, y'all. Look, I'm scared for next week because look, y'all been on fire. I feel like the collection plate gonna come in the first 5 minutes next week.
I'm telling you, you got to put the gold in the collection plate. You got to put the gold in the collection plate. No more cash, just straight gold.
Aaron told me yesterday that that's what comes next. After we done put the dollars in, now we got to put gold nuggets in the plate.
Because we dropping the nuggets. We all dropping the nuggets.
I'm gonna go find them gold nuggets to go in this plate. But I'm super excited because again, we're giving practical tools. We're sharing real strategies. We're sharing encouragement so that people get to see their setbacks as setups for comebacks. Y'all know that's like my favorite quote. Let your setback be your comeback. So upcoming events for Steps Foundation. Before we wrap out, you guys make sure that you check out our website. We have one more program open house coming up. So if you are a high school student looking to join our program behind the scenes, because we have a lot of fun over here. Look, as y'all see, look, our students are on the podcast. Look, they hanging out.
I'm glad to be here.
Listen, and we got students behind the scenes that y'all don't see, but these are things that are amazing for us. So if you want to join us, please, we would love to have you. August 30th is our next open or our next orientation for program. And we would love to get you in, get you going, let you earn some points, win some things. Tomorrow, we have our What You Got Cooking, which is our cooking class that's virtual. So we are excited. There's still space if any of you want to come in and join cooking with us. Yes, we cooking in real time, y'all, together as a group. Yes. If you are interested in leading as a teen, we have our youth program ambassadors that is open for you guys. We're super excited for that because it is open for high school students, a great way for you to learn how to advocate for other teams as well as advocate for yourself and become a leader. And then the last thing, or the last two things, we got Building Your Inner Power, which is a workshop provided through our Healing in Communities initiative. So we will be talking to students about building resilience. So this whole initiative is about empowering mental health for our teams and their families. So definitely come check that out. It's free of charge, but we're giving you guys a toolkit to leave with so that you have practical tools to use. Last but not least, our Suspects in Secret. So if you love solving murder mysteries, we need you. Now, I'm excited because Aaron's working on something over there that we can't wait to share with y'all. Yeah.
And also, I gotta mention the person that I'm working with is, Anastasia, and we are gonna bring you guys a really good video, just all made by me and her. This is a project, and we're working as a team, so we are happy to, get that out there and show you guys what we're gonna make.
I can't wait.
And then
I already know it's phenomenal.
Also, I want to leave a message for everybody on the Zoom call and everyone that's on YouTube to, today just write positive words about yourself, or look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you are enough. Tell yourself that you can. Tell yourself that you're going to get that job interview. Tell yourself that you're going to go get that job interview and impress that person that's interviewing you to get that job. Because I'm telling you, you guys, everybody here can reach it. Reach for the stars. Do not put limitations on yourself, because as soon as you limit yourself, you're not going to get to the places that you want to be at. So please, everybody, growth mindsets, never fixed mindsets. Always try to grow. Always try to be a leader. Do not follow. Come on. We all have it in there. We all have positivity. Let's bring it all out and just spread it with the earth. Let's spread it to the world.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look, y'all better come on now. See, y'all, see why we bring our teens on? Look at this. Look at all this love. That's right. So thank you guys for being a part of Talk Tuesday this month. Remember, the power of positivity is always with you. Stay strong, stay curious, and most of all, stay true to yourself. Until next time, y'all, stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep leading the way. We'll see y'all next week.